天啊，深圳的各个群都炸锅了，因为今天发生了一件事关到我们这些韭菜个人养老金余额以及将来退休金多少的大事儿。有一些人呐，查询了一下自己这个社保个人养老金的余额，发现一下子少了好几万，有的人甚至少了1/3。
On May 8th, Shenzhen citizens found a significant reduction in their social security pension balances. Some people's accounts even shrunk by a third. The most loss reached 120,000 RMB, around $17,000. A wave of public outcry ensued, with aggrieved parties accusing the government of arbitrarily pooling their hard-earned social security funds. The controversy grew to such an extent that the balance inquiry function of the Shenzhen social security system was promptly suspended. Following in the footsteps of Shanghai, Shenzhen has become the second major city to execute a social security coordination. Between midnight on April 24, 2023, and 9 a.m. on May 8th, the Shenzhen Social Insurance Information System was suspended to integrate into Guangdong Province's system, thereby linking to the National Pension Insurance Coordinated Information System for enterprise employees. Upon the system's restoration, however, a considerable number of Shenzhen residents were shocked to find that their Social Security account balances suddenly decreased, with some accounts seeing a drastic 30 to 40% plunge. The whereabouts of these diverted funds remains a mystery. The government's actions prompted sharp rebuke. Many people criticized the authorities for appropriating funds without prior consent or notification, especially for a matter as important as Social Security funds. As the public searched for the reason behind this, some people pointed out the precarious state of the existing pension and medical insurance funds, which are very low, and underscored the severe challenges confronting the nation. To mitigate this crisis, the CCP is reportedly exploring various reform measures, including the integration of Shenzhen's social security system with that of Guangdong Province, to pool and coordinate the two funds together. The social security system consists of two parts, encompassing medical insurance accounts and pension accounts. The pension account directly influences the base amount of the retirement pension, while the medical insurance account balance dictates the reimbursement amount for medical treatment expenses. As per existing regulations, every individual must contribute to the social security system for a minimum of 15 years to qualify for a pension upon retirement, a provision designed to offer a fundamental safety net for life post-retirement. However, the implementation of the overall plan has resulted in a decrease in the balance of many people's pensions in Shenzhen. The move has stirred considerable discontent, with residents voicing concerns over the government's lack of prior communication and a sudden implementation of the combined system. Given Shenzhen's already high cost of living, those who have to pay for their own social security payments are finding themselves at a further disadvantage. Their pension starting point is already lower than that of public servants, and now, with part of their funds pulled away, coupled with the prospect of delayed retirement and escalating living costs, their pension of 2,000 to 3,000 RMB can be easily spent. This raises questions about the sustainability of their future livelihood, a concern that has angered Shenzhen citizens. In the face of mounting public criticism, the official Shenzhen Social Security issued a response, insisting that the actual amount in a person's pension personal account has not decreased, and that the new system shows a decrease in the balance because it only shows the principal amount of individual pension contributions, and does not include the principal and interest contributed by a person's company. Despite these assertions, the public remains skeptical, suggesting that such attempts at rumor debunking are merely a use of flashy language designed to cover the facts. This form of Chinese-style rumor refutation, they argue, only serves to validate the pooling system and the consequential reduction in the citizens' pensions. A wave of unease is spreading across China as people realize the harsh reality of the nation's pension system. In reflection, many note that the timing of one's birth has become a decisive factor in their future prosperity. Older colleagues already in the retirement age are reaping the benefits of their pensions. Meanwhile, those of them who have not yet retired are now faced with pension pooling and coordination and the impending delay in retirement. Most importantly, their pensions will be less than those of their predecessors. These are things that they cannot change through their own efforts. In the face of such a system, they feel powerless and helpless. An all too familiar scenario is being replayed in the bustling city of Shanghai. Following the Social Security Information System switch to the National Coordinated System on April 15th, numerous locals voiced their grievances as their pensions were unexpectedly halved. And the severity of this reduction? 200 billion RMB, according to official figures. Just like that, the elderly in Shanghai suddenly lost over 200 billion. In the immediate aftermath of April 15th, citizens scrambled to assess the damage. Many were shocked to discover that their pensions, which had been projected to be over 3,000 RMB, had been whittled down to a mere 2,000 RMB, a decrease of more than 1,000. Those who had initially over 5,000 RMB were left with just a little over 3,000. First-tier cities such as Shanghai and Shenzhen, known for their higher average pensions, are bearing the brunt of these changes. This is largely due to these cities' citizens contributing more to Social Security. The Chinese government claims that the poor provinces can't pay out pensions, so it wants to promote national coordination of pensions, saying that Shanghai's Social Security is coordinated to the Northeast. But the problem is that the Northeast did not spend more money, so where did the money go? In a country like China, where information is not transparent and no democratic participation, there is no way to answer this question. The reduction in pensions in wealthier provinces has not been mirrored by an increase in the less affluent ones, triggering discontent among many. People are voicing their dissatisfaction, questioning why their hard-earned money had suddenly disappeared. In a mix of cynicism and frustration, some people have quipped that the money had been funneled to support Russia and Africa, or has been dispatched to Honduras, leaving the Chinese government depleted and unable to meet pension obligations. In more affluent provinces, many families rely on the pensions of the elderly because their children are often out of work. But now, the government's pensions have been reduced or may not even be paid out, which not only affects the lives of the elderly, but also puts the whole family in a difficult situation. Such conditions could potentially fuel protests. In response, the Shanghai government, fearing unrest, hastily shut down the pension inquiry system. Publicly available data from official websites reveals that Hangzhou's Social Security balance has also dramatically decreased, from an initial 60 billion RMB to a mere 30 billion. The question of where these funds went remains unanswered. The situation is similarly dire in Liaoning Province, where pension payments are impossible due to lack of funds. Reports suggest that retired staff of Liaoning University have penned a joint letter to the provincial governor, demanding the prompt payments as per relevant policies. These pensions were supposed to be paid 16 months ago, but there is still no news. The letter also states that if no satisfactory response is received by April 30th, they may be compelled to take action to protect their rights. It is also clear from the national figures that many people must have not received their pensions last year. The Central Social Security Fund anticipated a revenue of 376 billion RMB, but only achieved 88% of this target. Their expenditure sat at 363 billion RMB, a mere 73% of their forecasted figure. Given the shortfall in both revenue and expenditure, one might question whether China's elderly population saw a 30% decrease over the year. This seems highly unlikely, leading to the inevitable conclusion that a significant portion of the population did not receive their pensions. One elderly gentleman in Chongqing, for instance, has reportedly not received his pension for 2 years. Additionally, there are also some people who have waited for their retirement approval for nearly a decade, with no resolution in sight. In an alarming turn of events, the Chongqing Social Security Bureau not only stopped paying pensions, but also demanded the return of previously released pensions. This left these individuals without any source of income and burdened with a debt of 100,000 RMB. Such actions seem unique only to the Chinese government. Could this not be a catalyst for widespread public protests? Previously, the Chinese Communist Party started the so-called healthcare reform, moving most of the funds in the individual healthcare accounts into a unified healthcare fund. The official explanation is that this was done for the greater good, so to give the insured more protection in case of serious illness. However, this strategy has led to a substantial reduction in individuals' available healthcare funds, sparking large-scale protests by retirees in several cities, including Guangzhou, Wuhan, Dalian, and Anshan, in what has been dubbed the White Hair Movement. As we move into May, more significant news came out. Numerous public hospitals across China are struggling with immense financial strain, owing substantial amounts to pharmaceutical companies. In Guangzhou, a new column has appeared on the drug procurement platform entitled Debt Ranking. This is the first nationwide tally of hospital debt, with staff from the Guangzhou Public Resources Trading Center stating that this move is to encourage medical institutions to settle their debts promptly to ensure the continued production of pharmaceuticals. Official reports indicate that public hospitals' debt to pharmaceutical companies have reached alarming levels, with some liability exceeding 30 days past its due date, and on average, debt lasting up to 3 months or even a year. This scenario places pharmaceutical companies at risk of closure. A 2018 survey by the Hubei Pharmaceutical Industry Association of 8 representative companies revealed that some of them face payment collection times of up to 960 days, or 3 years to recover their accounts payable. This is 32 times the nationally stipulated 30-day payment period, with debts reaching a staggering 86 million RMB. In October 2020, the First People's Hospital in Huaihua City, Hunan Province, had racked up a debt of 347 million RMB, and the accounts payable of the First People's Hospital of Chenzhou City in the same province reached a staggering 650 million RMB. In 2019, the average payment collection cycle for pharmaceutical enterprises in Shanghai Province was a lengthy 239 days, with some even exceeding 5 years. Xining Third People's Hospital had accumulated debts of 15.2 million RMB to 37 pharmaceutical factories. Hospitals in 14 counties in Shandong Province had debts to 89 different pharmaceutical factories that had been outstanding for over a year. Public hospitals in Zhuhai were in debt to 13 local companies for a total of 290 million RMB in medical expenses. What is the root cause of this escalating issue? The answer lies in the failure of Social Security funds to make timely payments to hospitals. Given that Social Security is responsible for reimbursements, it is imperative for them to allocate funds to the hospitals, thus enabling them to pay pharmaceutical companies. However, in the current scenario, with Social Security falling behind on payments, hospitals find themselves in a bind, unable to pay the pharmaceutical companies in a timely manner. According to a survey conducted in 2019, public hospitals nationwide were owed approximately 350 billion RMB in medical insurance, highlighting the colossal debt accumulated before the pandemic struck. Throughout the 3-year lockdown period, the requirement for daily PCR tests has exhausted medical insurance funds. The question that arises then is, where are the hospitals expected to procure funds to pay pharmaceutical companies? If we dare to probe deeper into this issue, it is conceivable that the current debt of medical insurance to hospitals could well be in the region of trillions. The magnitude of such a predicament is unimaginable. The citizens of China, still clinging to the hope of receiving medical services, are facing a bleak reality, as hope is now very much out of reach. Similarly, their anticipation of pensions may most likely be a mere daydream. Given the situation, China's social stability is likely to be under immense strain, and the living conditions of its people could become even more challenging.